excited to have this incredible call today because on the screen next to me, whichever side it is for you when you're looking on your phones, is the gorgeous lady who has been in my life for a whole year. And we wanted to do a joint live today because we're celebrating our 1 year friend anniversary, but it's not just the fact it's been a year, it's the growth and change in this gorgeous person's life. And I wanted to interview her because the things that have happened in a year has just been insane. She's going to share all about it. And I just want you to share what it's like to be on a journey of the cognitive switch. So, on that note, introduce yourself, my darling. Tell the world who you are.
Hello, world.
Let's celebrate.
Yay. So, hello, world. My name is Becky Clifford-Perkins. I am the founder and CEO of CP Associates. Gorgeous sign that my bestie made for me. I love it. I'm coming to you from my little she shed in my back garden, which I adore. So, I met Sam on a call a year ago, 13th of November. So, we're just over our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, we're pretty over you, yeah.
And I just knew I had to work with her. I was like, oh my God. So she introduced us to a tiny little bit of silent counselling. And I was going through a pretty rough patch at the time. I had postnatal depression. So I had my beautiful daughter in 2020. Of course, COVID was joyful, not. And, you know, it was tough. It's tough having a newborn, full stop. It was tough being in COVID times. So vaguely unsurprised when I was diagnosed with postnatal depression because it's logical, but you know, those kind of things are not logical either. And I'd had some talking therapy and stuff like that, and I just knew it wasn't working. I knew there was something more. And you know when you can't say it, you can feel it, but you can't say it. And Sam did what, like 3 minutes of silent counselling? I think you just put us in flow, didn't you?
Yeah.
And that was it. And I was like, that's the more for me than God knows what in my entire life. I have to learn this. So I went out and I bought the gorgeous Sam's Cognitive Switching book, which was...
Oh yeah, that was it. That's where it started.
Yeah, that's what it started. Yeah. So I bought that, and Sam sent me a lovely message in it, which I have to say I still keep in my desk drawer now. Not fangirling, it's just such a beautiful message.
Is that what you showed me earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, I love you.
I love you too. But it was such a beautiful message. And at a time when my life was feeling pretty rubbish, even though I had this beautiful little girl, and, you know, it was somebody saying, do you know what? I love you for you. Not you for being a mum, not for you for being a wife or whatever. I love you for you. And that meant a lot. And so I went through the book and I was like, this is all fabulous. It is absolutely incredible. And if you haven't read the book, please go out and buy it because it is absolutely incredible. I don't have it here because my mum's borrowed it. Let's put it like that. She really has. When she was up the other week for Ellie's birthday, she borrowed. She's like, what's this? I was like, you need to read that and work on it. Off you go. There's a book. There's a notebook. Go. So that you need to go and buy that book, genuinely, because that was the beginning of my life-changing journey. And I'd already decided that I was going to finish my previous career, and I finished that in December 2021. Yes, that's right, 2021. And so, of course, 1st of January 2022, literally, I've started my business, zero money in the bank, squeaky bum feeling because it is scary, thinking, have I done the right thing? And I'd signed up. I realised that I desired to learn silent counselling. So that was like the December, I feel. And so I did that with Sam, and that was again, I'm going to say life-changing a lot, but I've had a lot of life-changing moments, so I make no apology for it. It was incredible. It really helped me. At the time, I wouldn't say completely sort the postnatal depression, but it gave me a lot of coping mechanisms and a lot of release, which was incredible. And then I realised I needed to find people to practice on because that's what you have to do. And so I realised the people that were in my life who were also setting up businesses, who I knew from various groups and things like that, they were feeling the same things. Insert different issues in, but it's basically the same emotions, same feelings. And from there, and I would actually say that the silent counselling was the catalyst for my business, because I had these 6 people, and either they wanted to carry on doing silent counselling when I was qualified, or they're like, oh, what else do you offer? And so I was able to explain to them that I offered support for small businesses with their finances, with their systems, with their setup. And that was genuinely where my business started.
That's amazing.
If I'm really honest, I had no intention of doing silent counselling for anybody other than me.
Yeah.
But it was a very selfish thing.
It just goes to show that it isn't just for people that are, it doesn't matter what industry you're in or what you do, it is for any human being.
Absolutely is, 100%. And so I've done silent counselling with people that have 7-figure businesses. I've done silent counselling with people who are just putting their toe in the water. They haven't even started their business, but they're having to think about it. It's like, oh, can I do it? Of course you can. Of course you can. Let's do some silent counselling. And it's incredible. And so that was absolutely catalyst. And from that, I gained 2 monthly paying clients. Incredible.
Amazing. That's
and
amazing.
so that was
So you literally had this started, we had met, you got yourself into, I got you into flow. So if anyone's wondering what getting into flow actually means, because people talk about it all the time, it's just to bring your body into just a state of calmness. Because as you know, everyone has busy minds. You're always consciously thinking, do, must. Calm. And that was it. That was all I did. That was all I did on that session, because I could feel everyone's anxiety in that room. I was like, get everybody into flow. It was kind of crazy. And then you read the book, and then you loved it, and then you done the silent counselling, and like I remember your case study like I read it yesterday. It was just absolutely magnificent. You just embodied it so much. And that's the thing, is that most people do end up enrolling in silent counselling for themselves, which is why I always talk about it for yourself, but then they put it into business because it's just gold.
It absolutely is. And so from that, I then enrolled in the total alignment mentorship. And that was absolute, if that was gold, that was platinum. Everything else. So that was January, February. Yeah. February, maybe? I feel like February.
Yeah.
This year's been a blur, I'm not going to lie.
I know, it's gone super fast.
Yeah, it has, but incredible at the same time. But yeah, so I enrolled in that, and that was absolute platinum. I remember sat listening to one of the very first videos you did, and I was just like sat there with my notebook going, this is incredible, this is incredible. And it was sort of joining the dots for me in my head. It's like, oh yeah, no, because I've been thinking about that, or yeah, I knew about that, or and then it was right, join the dots, and suddenly you've got the picture. It was incredible. And I remember, you know, several calls later, and I really was absolutely, and I must see the calls live. I know we get playbacks, and that's incredible, but I want to see them live, because if I've got questions I want to ask them.
Cool.
Yeah. And I remember my daughter wouldn't nap, so I put her in a car seat and I was driving around the lanes of Cumbria. She finally went to sleep, and I'm sat there watching Sam on this call.
Oh my God, I remember that day.
Yeah, in a lay-by, and you're like, oh, Becky's here. I was like, yeah, I'm sat in a lay-by. Please send sleepy vibes to the daughter. But it was just so important to me. And yeah, of course, she needed to sleep as well. But it was so important to do that and to grow. And all of these things, all of this stuff that I've been learning, all the stuff I've been remembering, a lot of it's kind of remembering from my life journey prior to this business, prior to meeting Sam. It's so important. And it just, yes, it's been helping me, but it's helping my clients, and it's giving me different perspectives to come to issues. And you know, when my clients have an issue, it's like, right, have we thought about it from this? Have you thought about this? So even last night I had a call with a client, and she's like, I hate what I do. I was like, oh wow, that's very, very, very strong. Let's just right. And she, you know, she realized she'd built up this whole business, but it was based on what she needed to do. We absolutely pulled all of that out. And I said, so is it safe to say you're not in alignment? No, I'm not. Right. Okay. What kind of things will create your alignment? And afterwards she said, I feel released. I feel, and you know, it's so important to be aligned in your business, in your life. I don't care whether you have a career, you have a business or whatever, you've got to be aligned. And that's something that Sam's absolutely taught me in, you know, Total Alignment membership, because so many people get like the Sunday night blues, don't they? And so many people like get the feeling of dread on a Monday morning or whatever. And I don't have that anymore. I mean, and I genuinely had it for like God knows how many years in my career. But it's,
I love that. So the total alignment mentorship, when I just want to talk about that. So that basically, I had the idea in 2019 of a name, trademarked it, completely forgot I trademarked it. I was like, I want to do group coaching programs. Had a couple of ideas in 2020, 2021, done a couple more. And then in 2022, I was like, right, this is what it's about. It's the total alignment mentorship. It's getting everyone to take the aligned action that feels right for them. And there's different areas that I cover. And one of the key areas, the first stage, is authentically aligned, which is basically getting yourself genuinely aligned to your purpose, to what feels right for you, honoring your emotional intelligence, your IQ, and most importantly, your human design. So it's about being that, whatever shape you want to call it, but having that fulfillment from within. And sometimes you feel like you're going round and round and round a hamster wheel because you're trying to chase yourself and you don't know what you're doing or where you're going, or, oh my God, what am I doing? I've got to do this, oh, but this is missing. But instead, it just circulates in a really nice flowy motion, which goes well with getting into flow. So what was one of the main reasons why you wanted to do the total alignment mentorship?
I knew that this year was a year I needed to listen to me. Absolutely. After God knows how many years of looking after everybody else, and I was in education, so obviously that's a very high pressured environment, and young people need 1,000,000,000% from you. And I thought, right, this is me now. This is my year. The wake up call was kind of the postnatal depression. I was like, no, I don't want to live for the next God knows how many years feeling like this. I want to enjoy my life and my family. So come on, girl, something's got to shift. I had personally tried, as I say, talking therapies and things like that. For me, and I know that works for some people, for me, it wasn't the right thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be taking tablets every day. That's just, again, for me, wasn't the right thing. I mean, I can barely take a vitamin. What can I say? But in all seriousness, that wasn't for me. So I knew I had to do some deep work on myself. It had been coming, it had been bubbling. I think I said that to you when we were talking about me joining the mentorship. It'd been bubbling for a long time, and actually this was the year of listening to me. And I thought, I'm going to give myself a year to really focus on my development, my spiritual development, my being, really.
Yeah.
And go back. And then I was genuinely like, I'm going to see where it takes me. And the journey's been an amazing roller coaster. Really, really has.
So in terms of the mentor, my questions are popping up randomly in my head. So in terms of the mentorship, when you've done the mentorship, obviously there's lots of work to do. So there's lots of actions to put into place and taskings to do. So did you find that really beneficial for your own being, like your own well-being?
Absolutely, because it just seemed to be the way you had planned it and the structure you had. It helped me, and that's kind of where I was at the time. Now, now I know, I now know, knowing a little bit more about how Sam works, because I've done even more with her, that was very carefully planned. And, you know, she's so meticulous with the way she plans things. So I now know that was the journey and it was the right thing. But for me, it was just like, oh yes, but I do need to think about that now. Right, okay, what does that mean? And I found myself probably, it's safe to say, for the first time in my life, my adult life probably, making time for me to write, to think, to really allow things to integrate. And I mean, I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 notebooks on the shelf up there that I've already filled this year with just my 8. Yeah.
That's good. They're going to be little Bibles.
Yeah. But it's all about, you know, my development and how I needed, you know, sometimes we all know a journal really should be about kind of planning and focusing on the future, but sometimes you just need to get it all out and go there.
Especially when you've not done the inner work deeply before. And
100%.
So how did the mentorship, because predominantly the group coaching programs were between February to September, and then we've got another big one coming. How has that helped not only you as a person, but also the importance of working on you and how it impacted your business? Because you started at 0 January the 1st, and literally then within months things began to change, didn't they?
It did. So 0 January 1st, and that, I mean, if anybody thinks I'm fibbing, I'm really not. Sam knows me well enough. I don't tell fibs. I don't lie.
You don't
What you
like
see is what you
lies.
get.
You don't do lies.
We don't do lies, no.
Okay.
And so I was literally at 0. There was my business bank account. It said, "Welcome, 0." Great. And so, as I say, Silent Counselling brought me in a couple of clients, and that was fantastic. And then I started having the confidence to reach out to contacts, to reach out to acquaintances that I'd met on other courses maybe, or kind of come to know through social media or followed. And I was having the confidence to go, "Hi, I'm here. This is what I do." And suddenly that confidence was like a magnet. And they were going, "Oh, I have to work with her. I have to work with her. She gets it. She gets what it is to feel like big, scary, put your big girl knickers on today sort of feeling in business." Yeah, I do get it. I do get it. And so in March, I want to say,
Yeah.
I took on an incredible client. And she was like, "2022 is my year." I'm like, "Okay, cool. What are we doing?" She says, "I want 6 figures." I'm like, "Right, fantastic. How are you going to do that?" Don't know. I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. You don't have to know right now. But if that's the goal, that's what we're going to do." And she, "What, you're not going to tell me that I'm talking rubbish?" I said, "No, never do that. If that's your goal, darling, we're going. We're doing it." And she said, "I've been in business 8 years now. I'm fed up. I want the success. I've scraped, I've scrimped. This is my year." Right, fine. So we talked, and I did a little bit of coaching with her, did some silent counselling with her. And then we were having monthly calls, and that was all cool. And then one day she said, "I'm going to London tomorrow." I said, "Cool, what are you doing there?" She said, "I've got like 3-4 meetings with people." And she was listing off these big names. I'm like, wow, even I've heard of them, and I don't really know her industry, and that's fine. And I said, "That's amazing. That's congratulations." She's like, "Yeah, I don't know whether I want to go." Like, nearly fell off my chair. What? What are you talking about? Of course you're going. Nah. I'm like, "Right, what's going on?" Don't know. Silent counselled it. "Is there anything you want to share that came up?" Obviously, you don't have to because it's silent and it's just whatever. Yeah, I was 15 years old. I wasn't allowed to do an apprenticeship in a certain firm because I was a girl, because they didn't have any female toilets, and I wasn't allowed to do it. So therefore, I believed I wasn't good enough. I was like, okay. So at that point, I didn't have the knowledge or the skill that I'm about to be learning to release that limiting belief. But the fact that she released the energy around it was enough to get her butt on the train to London and to win 60 grand's worth of contracts the next day.
That is just incredible.
I still get goosebumps talking about it. That's not all time, because I don't think I've caught you up. So then we're having these weekly meetings. She took us off on holiday. Incredible. Have a lovely time. You know, you deserve it. Comes back. "Oh, I've just won a 6-figure contract with a very big name, and it's happening." We're like,
I have a grandbaby client.
I'm like, "Oh my God."
So that was within months.
Months
Wow.
working with, releasing one bit of energy around a limiting belief, and also some coaching, and also obviously some finance planning, systems planning, those kind of things, tax planning. I know it's boring, but we've all got to do it. All of those things that really helped her up level. And I'm just so proud of her. So proud of her.
Oh my God, that is amazing. I love that. How long have we been talking for? I don't even know.
I have no idea. I mean, the problem is when we get together, we could go all night, couldn't we?
We do. So do you know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to pause it right here. So because what we're going to do is we're going to continue it, and then we're going to share the second part the next day. So if you've enjoyed this first part and you're intrigued to know more about the next part of this young lady's adventure, stay tuned for part 2. It's going to come tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.